So I got online and did some looking, and Bus Depot actually makes these replacements. They're actually imported for Bus Depot from Germany. These are German hoses. Looks like Parker is the brand. Get up closer, show you what they look like. The factory ones are actually steel lines front to back. They rust real bad, and then like I say, there's that point on the right rear where they'll wear through. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, get this hatch up. Already got all my interior out. Open up the engine lid here. So these power steering lines are actually located, the pumps on the passenger side of the Syncro here. We need to get this air box out of the way, and then we can get down to the fittings and get those removed. So right here we've got the dust collector. That's just got like a little Phillips head, kind of a set screw. Pull that off. Put our screw off over here where we'll be able to find it. And just slide that straight out. Okay, so these steel lines right here are the ones we're replacing. Like I mentioned before, this is the low pressure side. It just has a hose clamp. Get that out of the way. Down here, here's your high pressure. You got a 19 and a 17. Put the 19 on. Break that loose. So these steel lines, they come down and they have a hanger here that's just kind of pinched over. So I'm hoping that we can take these, if I can keep them in place. They're a little rusty. I'm hoping that we can just bring our rubber lines up through here and then just pinch these lines back over. So we're loose up top. Now we need to climb down underneath. We'll get this thing up on the lift, up in the air, and we'll climb under there and pull those through. So right here I am under the passenger rear corner of the Syncro, and this is my e-brake cable. And as you can see, get this rag out of the way. As you can see, this line right here is the return line. Here's the pressure line. They come through this fitting here, mount to the frame, and then this is where that emergency brake cable sits. And if I pull this away, you can actually see right here, that's actually rubbed into the frame. So there's a fair amount, as that rear control arm is moving up and down, that cable just sits and rubs like that. And it's rubbed a pretty good hole in the frame, not a hole, but an indentation into the frame, and it rubbed right across the top of this pressure line. And then I just started getting a leak right there. As they come along here, that's the low pressure side. It's already had a repair there once before. We've got a joint there that we'll be getting rid of because those hoses that we have are solid hoses that come all the way up front. Up top here, getting up towards the front of the vehicle, we've got another hanger, and we should be able to just peel those hangers back and just run that hose inside those hangers. And then we come around here on top of the front frame. There's a rack and pinion. Comes over here, and that's where it attaches to the rack. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove all of those hangers and then fish those rubber lines basically down through there and attach them up here. Alright, so I've got the front undone, I've got the back undone. Now I've just got to undo all those little clamps, the frame hangers, and fish these out. I'm thinking it's probably going to be easiest to cut it into a couple of sections and pull it out a little bit of a little section at a time. So I opted to cut these and pull them out in sections. And to be honest with you, I'm glad these new lines, this is what we're replacing them with, that we got from Bus Depot. I'm glad these are rubber because they're going to go in a lot easier than these hard steel lines. We're all buttoned up here in the front. We've got our high pressure line, our return line. These are different size fittings, so you can't get them wrong. Only one way to put them on there. Now as we go back, I'm just going to start threading this back through. Basically, the size of this kind of rubber grommet where the old metal lines would go through is just about the same size, if you look at it, as these hoses. So as we go, I'm probably going to put a little bit of tape around them, just tape them together, and just put some electrical tape in there before I clamp the hanger down. It's probably overkill, but it'll protect the hose just a little bit against those hangers, and then I'll just crimp those hangers back down over the hoses. But we won't be using these grommets. These are just throwaway now because I mean, basically, you know, if we were to fit it around there, it's just too big to fit in our hangers. So I'm going to go ahead and thread it through, button up the hangers, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll move to the engine compartment and get it hooked up there, and then we should be ready to go. We are all buttoned up underneath. There's the front. Come down off of the rack, go over top of the frame, swing under here. There's our first hanger. I decided not to wrap them or anything. Decided just to put them in those clamps and just press the clamp back over it. Come over here, we got plenty of room through this top hat. Second clamp there. Come along here, we got a clamp. Probably tighten that up just a little bit more. I've been just squeezing them together with some channel locks and then just tapping on them with a little ball peen hammer. I got this one tightened up. I was trying to come up with a better situation here for this brake cable, and I think I'm just going to leave it right there. It does have some padding on it. I mean, it took it 250,000 miles to rub through the last lines, so I think I'll probably be okay with this situation here for a while. Then they kind of stuff up under here. We got these coolant lines in the way, so you can't really see what's going on, but they kind of just get stuffed up in there and then up inside the frame. And then moving on to the engine compartment, here's our last hanger, and I'll squeeze that together a little bit better once I get up inside. Okay, back to the engine compartment. If you remember, we have two fittings in here to do. We have this one, which is a 17 millimeter and a 19 millimeter. So we're going to snug those up. And then we have one here that is just a hose clamp. That's our low pressure return line. Okay, so just ran the engine, topped off the fluid, got no leaks. It looks really good. These lines were very easy to install. They're a really high quality product. I think any backyard mechanic, anybody who's done a little bit of wrenching on their own bus could easily install these. And I mean, the fit was perfect on them. They weren't too long, they weren't too short. It was a perfect fit. So they're a really good product, and I would highly recommend them. You might even take a look and see if your cable's been rubbing. Might want to do some preventative maintenance, maybe check and see if they're rusting. Like I say, there was a previous repair on this bus from before I got it on the return line, where the dealership that I got it from had just put a short piece of hose in there. These lines are great. You know, they were 175 bucks, I think, under 200 bucks. So great value, good parts, and I think you'd be hard pressed to even go into somewhere and have them made for that kind of money. So I highly recommend them. Check out busdepot.com if you need some power steering hoses for your Vanagon. And I appreciate you guys watching.